viewers, welcome to the Kickstarter segment of Morning at NTV. For those that are just joining us, if you've been with us, many thanks for keeping company. We are going to discuss something that is related to the discussion that we just had and raising awareness on water quality in the country. So what we shall be doing is to add more impetus to the campaigns that are going on, especially when it comes to the protection of the quality of the water in Lake Victoria. It's a fresh water lake and has served the country or the region, to be very specific, in many ways for ages. But that is under threat and could be overturned by so many things, including the effluent that continues to be poured into the lake. Here to discuss one of the initiatives that have been put through and of course being championed are Mr. David Seraude Nsubuga, the director of Promote Uganda, and Julian Kaganzi, a president of the Rotary Club Kampala Central. Ladies and gentlemen, many thanks for joining us. Let me begin by having my own critical look at some of the aspects, of course, that we shall be looking at. But Mr. David Seraude, if you don't mind, what is the run all about and what exactly is the crust of this latest campaign?
Thank you very much, and good morning, viewers. Many viewers may have watched a documentary that was run in December that was actually on BBC that showed how polluted our lake is, Lake Victoria, and the need for us to do something as Rotarians, as Promote Uganda, is now. It is against that background that we decided to go into a campaign that will be launched this coming Saturday with what we call Run for the Nile. And the objective is really two things. One, to raise awareness to our people about the things that we are doing wrong and the need for us to change our habits. And two, as articulated by the Rotary International Board of Directors and Trustees, they have decided to embrace environment protection as the 7th focus area, and we as the Rotary Club of Kampala Central, which is a green club, have decided to combine efforts with other players to actually protect Lake Victoria, because that focus area, the 7th focus area, one of the objectives is protecting water sources. So it's against that background that we've decided to launch this run. It will be an annual run which will be used to mobilize people to protect the lake from the pollution and raise funds that can help us to clean that lake.
All right, Madam Julian Kaganzi, as president of the Rotary Club Kampala Central, what is the thrust of the Rotary in this?
Thank you, Presenter. Good morning, viewers. Yeah, the Rotary, as he has David has already mentioned, has 6-7 avenues of service, and the environment is the 7th focus area that was adopted in June 2020. So that is why Rotary is part of this, and it is very, very interested in saving the lake, which at the same time affects our environment and climate. So that's how Rotary comes in, and ours is a green club. Its brand is the greening the environment and the supporting. By the time the Rotary International past year adopted the 7th area of focus, the Rotary Club of Kampala Central was already a green club, so it just enhanced our our focus on the greening. So we've been planting trees everywhere. Even after this run, we are going to be planting trees at the golf course and at some 2 schools, Wanyange, and the other school is?
It's actually Wanyange.
Wanyange only, but it will be at the golf course and the Wanyange SS.
All right, you talk about Lake Victoria being under threat. This is something that we've had over the last few years.
Yes.
And of course, there are many campaigns and initiatives that are underway to help restore the quality of this water. But if you don't mind taking us through where exactly the threat is, away from the general talk about Lake Victoria is being, you know, polluted. Tell us what is happening.
Okay. We have been interacting with the people in charge of processing the water that many of us consume.
Yeah.
That is National Water and Sewage Corporation. And we recently had a discussion with the Natural Resource Officer in Jinja, who indicated to us that part of the skyrocketing bills that we are receiving in our homes is as a result of the fact that because of the water that the water processing plant in Gaba, where the majority of the town dwellers get water from, the processing has actually become so difficult for the institution because they now have to use a lot of chemicals to actually purify this water, and it of course translates into higher costs for people who are consuming the water. And if, to us as Rotarians, we feel something has to be done. We cannot let this continue. We are in many countries we have seen what we used to be freshwater lakes, they have actually become dead lakes. And this lake is actually, if we don't do something now, we really have to, we may regret our actions in the future. So we feel that now that there is an opportunity for us through Rotary International to apply for a grant that can be used to actually see how best do we protect more pollutants getting into the lake, like plastic bottles, like polythene, like sewage, like even effluent from factories. We really have to start embarking on this campaign to stop more dumping into the lake. And that's why we decided to start this run. It will be used as a mobilization tool to educate our people about the dangers, the do's and don'ts. And then through the campaign as well, we hope that we can bring it to the attention of the well-wishers, those who are really directly using this water, the factories. I'm looking at Coca-Cola, I'm looking at Nile breweries, I'm looking at the flower farms that are around the lake. All those are using this water, and they should all come and actually we work together and do something so that our future generation does not stand to regret.
Okay. Of course, what you paint is a very grim picture of the quality of the water in Lake Victoria, given the number of activities that go on there, the fishing, I'm told. There is also transport improvements that are going on here and there. When you go to Gaba, people do go to have a good time and eat some fish. I don't know whether there is any particular threat that we must look out for the fish that we eat.
Well,
have you spoken to scientists?
What I've heard actually from the other side, because you know this is being a regional lake, that documentary that I was talking about actually looked at what was happening in Kisumu.
Kisumu, Kenya, yeah.
Kisumu, Kenya. And the fishermen were actually alluding to the fact that they used to get big fish. It's no more.
Wow.
What they used to, you know, the quantity of the fish they used to get has drastically reduced. And that should be a pointer to us in Uganda that we are likely to actually face the same problem if something is not done right now. Okay. Of course, when you dump these toxins into the lake, eventually they will go into the fish that we eat. And that certainly is a threat. Is a threat to many of us who enjoy this fish. So we really don't want to wait until the situation gets out of hand. We need to do something now.
Madam President, the Rotary has positioned itself over the years as one of the advocates of improvement of the human condition. And when such an initiative comes up, I'm not surprised that you are on it. However, before initiatives like runs, including marathons and others within that bracket, are undertaken, what is the behind-the-scenes effort, interaction with government agencies and other stakeholders to ensure that the entire system that leads up to the water pouring into Lake Victoria is addressed? Have you spoken about the Nachifuo channel with KCCA? Are you speaking to government on other areas of concern?
Thank you very much. This is just an initial touch. We are just beginning, and yeah, we are just beginning the effort because, as I've told you already, we've been planting trees, and in an effort to do that, we've been approaching KCCA over that. We have been requesting for an appointment, but we are yet to sit and agree on how to start over with that. But with this, the run on the Nile, still, the few people we've spoken to are the ones he's been talking about, and we are continuing to speak because it's going to be annual. Each and every other day we are going to be meeting the different stakeholders who affect this lake, and it's even the public itself that are building near the lake will be approached and educated. Like the campaign is about educating the public about the need to protect the lake and the river Nile. Yeah. Okay,
so the specifics of the run, who can come on board, and what exactly has been put in place for them, because safety many times is important, however much an initiative is for a good cause, because you could roll it out but then again cause more problems in the process. Have you identified a particular set of actors that you need to bring on board, especially in the early stages before another edition is conducted?
Yes, I think it is related to the question you've asked the President. We have actually, when we were starting this campaign, we knew the Minister of Water and Environment is very critical in this. And we have been in discussion with the Permanent Secretary, with the Commissioner for Water Regulation, with Dr. Calist. And it's just unfortunate that he's not here because this program clashed with another TV program on UBC, but he was expected to be here. So we are coming up with a kind of memorandum of understanding between, it will be between Promote Uganda, the Rotary Club of Kampala Central, and the Minister of Water and Environment. And the reason why we are actually holding this run around this time is that following the recognition of the need of this kind of initiative, the Minister of Water and Environment decided to embrace this run as well and make it to be part of the Uganda Water and Environment Week. As you may be aware, that week started with a walk. There are people walking from Fort Portal side to Uganda, to Kampala. They are also going to be cleaning exercises as part of the Water Week, and then the run is also going to be part of the Water Week. So we have engaged the ministry, we have engaged some corporate companies, and I want to thank very much those that we have engaged. Nairobi Breweries has come on board to be part of this. Madivan Group has become part of this. Platinum Credit and Premier Credit, some of the sponsors we've received. Then MAD Advertising Agency, they have been very, very instrumental in making sure that the campaign is well crafted, and they are part of the reason why we are here. So there are also other players that I know are coming on board who have approached roofings. We know that they always support the campaign, and of course National Forest Authority. They have been very supportive to Rotary. They provide us with tree seedlings, and we are hoping that even this Saturday, when we come to planting the trees, they will be able to provide those.
All right, very shortly, I'll be asking you to take us through the payment options for participation in the run. But let me first return to Madam President Julian Kaganzi. And without particularly appearing to be taking advantage of the gender imperative, I'm going to have to ask the question. Before we came into this discussion, we were talking to an official from WaterAid, yes. And she was very categorical in saying that the chain of water management practices in the country is very much at the behest of women. That women, if access to quality water is impeded, then we have a lot of problems that we are going to encounter. The Rotary must be working around aspects related to improving access to water, especially for women and young children. Do you mind taking us through any of those?
Yes, as I told you earlier, Rotary has 7 avenues of service. Water and sanitation is very, very part of it, and even this month itself is the Water and Sanitation Month. Yeah. The Rotary Club of Kampala Centre and all Rotary clubs all put this work at improving the water and sanitation, especially for schools, the children and mothers who don't have. But we, as a club, for us, we've been sinking boreholes for schools. We've done this in many places, in Kaliro, in Gulu, in Soroti, in Arua, and in Lukwanga there's a village we adopted in Wakiso. So there are some schools which don't have access to water. The water was very, very far, and yeah, we've been trying to improve the water water and sanitation in those areas. So Rotary is so passionate about this, and it's one of the areas avenues of service to improve.
Okay, that is important to know. Yes, what are the payment options for the run? How much is, are there different products? For example, the premium runners, and then there is what my cobbler usually calls Kayola.
Now, first of all, what we've done is we have designed a kit for the run, which we can demonstrate.
The kit for the run?
Yes, for the run. So all those that will be running.
Let me just take through it. Yes. This is Run for the Nile.
Yes.
And Save Lake Victoria. Right. Give Uganda some love.
Exactly. Okay. So we want every Ugandan who really cares about Uganda to really come and run. The run is scheduled.
This will do.
Yeah. So the run is scheduled for 11th, which is this coming Saturday, at Jinja, which is near, very close to the source of River Nile. The reason why we called it Run for the Nile is, one is Uganda is privileged to have this source of the Nile as a very good location for many people who can come actually. It becomes a mass visit. So in terms of tourism, it's an attraction for people to come and visit this location, but at the same time do something in conservation. So the run is on the 11th. It will be flagged off by Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament at 7 a.m. That is at the Agriculture Showground. That's the location where we're starting from. And the run is composed of three segments. Yeah. There are those who will be running, there are those who will be walking. But we'll have a 5-kilometer, a 10-kilometer, and 20 kilometers. And then the payment, if you want to participate as a corporate team, like NTV, you contribute 2 million shillings, and that grants you 20 runners. The vests, the kits, which currently goes for 40,000 as an individual. If you want to register as an individual, you pay 40,000.
40,000 for a kit.
For a kit. Yeah. And this kit will be, of course, the vest, the running vest, and the water to enable you, go through that run very well.
That's right.
And the payment modes, we have got a number of payment modes, but we have, you can pay by Airtel Pay. The number is 43.
How much is pretty important?
Yes,
before,
how much?
Before they know.
Okay,
where
so what they pay is 2 million
for the corporate teams,
which
40,000
and 40,000 for individuals.
You're simply paying for the kit.
Yeah,
no
yeah.
other services.
Well, because it's a fundraiser.
Okay.
Part of the reason is that whatever we raise is going to go into a fund that we have created, and this fund is now going to be financing activities. One of the activities we'll start with is we are going to do a rapid appraisal to establish where is the most danger.
Okay.
We have also engaged other players like the Embassy of Egypt. The ambassador is very keen to support this initiative. We have engaged other players like, of course, the factories and the rest of that. So my appeal is to all Ugandans, if you really care about this lake, right now and for the future generation, it is now to act. I appeal to all Rotarians, Rotary clubs, particularly the Rotary clubs in the East. We have been engaging Rotary Club of Jinja. They are very supportive, Rotary Club of Source of the Nile, and then the other clubs in that area. Okay. We hope that our governor will be part of the guests that will be flagging off this run. Now, after the run, we are going to have commissioning of climate change teams in Rotary clubs and Interact clubs. And these teams will be the ones working with us to make sure that whatever action that we want to undertake is well communicated and well delivered.
All right. Thank you very much. David Serau Densuga, Director, Promote Uganda, and Julian Kaganzi, President of the Rotary Club of Kampala Central, for the information and the insight into the upcoming run for the Nile campaign. That will do it for the discussion. We now take a break. We shall be back.